one guy who's been good for a while now back to the basketball court has been Steph Curry. And I know that, Steph Curry had 62 points the other night. And I think some people said he sort of answered his critics. I don't know if that's, where we should be right now with Steph Curry. He was battling Dame Lillard out there, which is always fun to see two guys who are sort of similar in their position and their type of game battle out there on the NBA court. But, I think at the start of the season, once the Warriors lost Klay Thompson to the Achilles injury, everybody just said, well, they don't have Durant anymore. They lost Klay Thompson. Draymond Green's not the same guy. This Wiseman kid, we don't know if he's going to be ready. The Warriors aren't going to make the playoffs. And I think that pissed Steph Curry off. They struggled the first two games, and Steph Curry in the first two games, I believe, had, something like 19 and then 20 points in their first couple of games. But then since then, he scored 36, 31, 26. He had a 62-point game the other night, and then he had 30 in their last game. And in those 5 games where he scored at least 26 points, the Warriors are 4-5. So I think now when you look at Steph Curry's 62 points, it's not just about that one night. I think it's about the fact that Steph Curry has now said, okay, it's all on me. We got the young Wiseman kid, and James Wiseman's looked pretty good. I mean, that kid, you kind of question why wasn't he just everybody's consensus #1 pick. But he's looked good, and I think he's a perfect fit for the Warriors. And I think Curry is now just going to completely take this team on his back. And it's weird to say that because we've always thought he has, but he kind of always had Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. And then, of course, when they got Durant, they had this super team that won multiple championships. But I think this year, Steph Curry is going to prove doubters wrong and really carry this team. And I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be probably a 7 or 8 seed or 6 seed in the NBA at best. But I think they're going to make the playoffs because Curry's going to drag them there.
Yeah, I think this is a team actually that we probably should have brought up with the NBA team struggles earlier, because they kind of struggled to start this season. And I think that's like we said, Steph Curry was starting to realize, hey, these guys aren't really getting it done, and we're not getting it done collectively. So I'm going to have to actually step it up a little bit more. And we've seen that in the last 2 games, scoring a combined, 92 points over the last 2 games. I mean, so normally, like I said, if I were to look at it from a coaching perspective, if I were to let a opposing player score 62 points, I'm not expecting to win that game. And they did not. They did not win that game. Steph Curry won the game with his 62 points. You just need a couple other guys to kind of fill in and chip in at that point. NBA games are normally running about 98 to 100 points, maybe a little bit over that, depending on the night. So I think you're right. I think he's realized that he kind of has to step up and carry this team. I think it's something that he can definitely do. He's proven it in the past. I think this guy he's generational, a generational talent. Clearly has changed the game of basketball where, I know, like I said, speaking again as a coach, I have sometimes trouble asking my young players to shoot mid-range jumpers because all they want to do is shoot the three-pointer now. And that's because of Steph Curry and guys like Klay Thompson that have really changed the game. Back when we were coming up and, back in the 90s, 2000s, the whole thing was the game was played above the rim. Everybody was dunking, and it was all acrobatic layups and stuff like that. Now it's really the game is played beyond the perimeter. So if we could go back to mixing it up a little bit, I think that would be great for the NBA and a little bit for people like me, of purist of the NBA and liking to see some mid-range jumpers. But yeah, Steph Curry is amazing, and I think he's just proving that right now, and I think you're going to see more of that going forward.
No question. I think sometimes he gets lost in the top tier players in the NBA. I think, LeBron and Kawhi and probably Giannis are the top 3. And then you might even put Durant up there now that we see that he's healthy again. But then Curry is without question that next group of the Hardens and some of the other players in the NBA. But I think that gets lost now that because he lost Klay Thompson and because we haven't really seen that, we didn't see him much last year. I think Curry only played 5 games last year because of injury. And we sort of forgot about Steph Curry, but I think we're not going to forget about him now.